Hey, this is Danae and welcome to the Weekly Read. Boom, that was it. Hey guys, it's Danae and thanks so much for coming back to watch another episode of the Weekly Read. As you see, I have another guest with me, as I always do. And I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you guys why we're here, why she's here, and then we're going to get into the show.
Hey guys, I'm Serena Hauser. I'm 22 years old. I'm the founder of the C.a.r.e Foundation. I just recently graduated from college, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, in May of 2018. So today, me and Danae are going to talk about life after college and my move to LA.
Cool. And me and Serena went to high school together, so it's a lot of fun because, so she's not the first person I had on that I went to high school with, but we graduated the same class, so it's a little different. So I'm interested in seeing how different our experiences are, because I don't think I've seen you since graduation day, 2014. Yes. Okay, so so you told us a little bit about yourself, but why did you choose this topic?
So life after college, I feel like I'm in a place right now in my life where it's just very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're supposed to be. It's almost been a year since I graduated.
Isn't that crazy?
It flies by so
Oh my
fast.
God, I know.
And I just feel like it's a very hard time, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
People that I talk to that I graduated with, or even if they weren't from the same school as me, it's just a confused place to be in, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And then my LA move, I wanted to talk about that because I had a lot of questions. People asked me a lot of questions about it,
mm-hmm.
and it was a huge part of my life, and it still affects me today. So
cool.
I just wanted to share my story.
Right. So we're gonna get into that a little later. But my first question to you is, what did you expect post-grad life to be like?
I thought it was just going to be, everything was going to be easy.
Yeah.
I think that we plan everything out, and that's a problem of mine that I'm trying to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just, instead of me planning everything out and having expectations, just trust God,
mm-hmm.
and know that He has me through everything, and His plans are better than mine.
Right. So would you say you're pleased or disappointed, or in the middle?
I'm pleased.
Okay.
I'm working in my field, and not everybody is blessed with the chance to work in their field as soon as they graduate.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm working in my field. I was given an opportunity that not too many people my age are blessed with, and just as long as I'm doing something and that I'm happy myself, I'm pleased.
Yeah, I think for me, I expected post-grad to be same as you, easy. And I'm doing I'm actually going to the junior high and doing a presentation on Thursday. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is how fast college goes, and you think you have so much time to do these internships and take these positions and jobs, but you really don't, because before you know it, it's graduation day.
Exactly.
And then you're kind of well, what the hell am I about to do next?
Right.
I remember I was sitting in this award ceremony, and it was for some honors club I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody had these plans.
Right.
People were I'm going to work for CNN. I'm going to work for ESPN. I'm doing this and that. And literally all I could say was I think I'm gonna travel.
What about me?
Yeah. And so I felt so behind, and I was so sad, I guess. And I guess it didn't really hit me that it wasn't gonna be as easy as I expected until I came off of my high of graduating and just traveling, because then I was what now? Yeah. And so what did you go to school for?
Child development and family relations.
Okay, cool. Because I went to school for communication studies. I want to be obviously a talk show host. So I too am working in my field, but I guess not as explicitly as I want to be. I work in promotions for a radio station, but I want to be a host eventually.
And I feel that is, everybody has a different path, but I feel that is okay. As long as we get our foot in the door, we can't just expect. And honestly, my boss, he had to tell me about this. So I'm the director at the daycare center that I work at, and there's not too many people who are 22 with not like no prior director experience who are just going to hop out of college and just go straight into the position. So it's like I have much more plans for myself than just being a director of a daycare center, but
that's a big deal.
It's a start.
Yeah.
And like same for you, like we have our foot in the door. So
that's true. So
and we're so young too. We have so much more time.
That's true. So what do you ultimately want to do?
I want to do so many different things. If I could put it in one sentence, I really want to travel the world while making money. And just help people. Like do what I love and just help people. Kids are my main focus, I would say. But helping people in general, really, the homeless. When I went to Africa and helped at the orphanage over there, like if I could just travel, because that's my passion of mine, traveling. So if I could do that and make money at the same time, that'd be good.
Right. So how are you working towards that right now?
So with my nonprofit, I see that being worldwide. Making connections. So I know that I couldn't go to Africa and just, okay, I'm done here. Like I still keep in contact with the mother of the orphanage. She's gave me a couple like opportunities if I wanted to come back with a group of people. She would give us a place to stay. And then also with the job that I'm in now, so it might not be the best paying job, but the flexibility and they respect my vision with my goals, and it's so flexible. So, you know, when I came back from California, I just recently got to go back and visit the school that I worked at, and not too many jobs will just say like, okay, you can have this time off, go do what you have to do to focus on your own goals. So I'm just trying to be patient right now and, you know, give my all to my job, the daycare that I work at, but also not forget about my personal goals.
Right. And it's crazy because we are in like two different fields, but like I see like so much that like I have in common with you in like regards to the jobs that we're working at right now, because like same for the radio, it's pretty flexible to the point where if I needed to like, because I do model professionally, I go to New York a lot, and so like it's been, you know, a blessing to be able to work towards my like dream, but to also work towards my other things as well. And I think if you can do that, it's really important that you take advantage of that opportunity, because I could not imagine like trying to do what I'm doing now, but like having to work a job, you know, 9 to 5 or working, I guess, for somebody else who doesn't necessarily understand. So I definitely like understand, and even though it's great, though it does sometimes get stressful because, you know, you feel like you're being pulled from so many directions. But I definitely would say like that too is one reason why I feel like I'm pleased where I'm at in life right now after college. But to get back on topic, post-graduation depression, did you experience it, or pre-graduation depression, or both?
I would say yes. I feel like let me not speak for everybody, but I feel like everybody experiences it. Like it's a normal thing, and I feel like it should be spoken more about during college, like before that graduating process. I think that I felt the most uncomfortable like days before graduating.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Also, when I was in California, and when we get to it, I'll explain more, but I was going through it out there. Like, I was just so uncomfortable. And even being home now, like, you know, I'm satisfied, but I know there's more.
Right.
So I feel like I'm still experiencing that post-graduation depression, but...
Right. And that's like a perfect segue, because the next thing that we are going to talk about is LA, but I feel like I experienced like pre pre-graduation depression. Like around this time of year, I feel like is when it really, really started. Because like I remember waking up one day and I'm just like, I didn't want to get out of bed, and I was so sad, and I was like, I like literally felt like my last semester of college was the hardest semester, like of all, because it's like you like want to care, but like it's so hard to, and like you want to look for jobs, but you keep getting turned down for jobs, and it's just really hard to move forward. But anyway, so back to like you just tell us that story, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I feel like also the end of college was a little easier for me because, as I said, like I had my expectations. I was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm gonna be good. Life is gonna be great. I'm gonna be living in LA. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I was. So I moved out there on my own. I didn't have any family or any friends, and I was in a relationship at the time. And so it was just hard, like picking up, and because I had those plans, I knew since we were in high school, like LA is where I want to go. I didn't get to go there for college, so I was like, after graduation, I'm just gonna move to LA. And I had those plans before my relationship even came along, so I'm going to stick with my plans. So I moved there, and it was good for about like 2 weeks. I was so happy. I was like, this is the life. My boyfriend actually came out there with me. It was my birthday, like I was the week I was moving out there.
Because we talked about moving together.
Yes. And it was just, it wasn't reality like when he was there, because it was more so we were celebrating my birthday, so it was like a vacation. Then life hit me. Like life hit me. Like I started my job. Also, when I went out there, I didn't have to start working until like 3 weeks in. I just had to go there, like sign papers and stuff like that. So it really
was like
a vacation. Yes. So then I started working, and I was getting up every morning just like happy. Like I didn't have a car out there. I would take public transportation, and I had a great commute. Like it was long, but I would bring my books on the bus, and it was good. But I would still wake up every morning blessed, like grateful, and just have a smile on my face. And then out of nowhere, like I just felt like this isn't it. Like I don't know if it was just I was lonely, but I really do think, like, I don't want to say I regret moving back, because I know everything happens for a reason, but I shouldn't have gave up so easily or so quickly. Another problem that I do look back on is that I asked too many people like their thoughts. Like, do you think it's okay for me to move back? Or like, do you think I should just stick it out? And I was hearing too many different thoughts. Like, my mom was like, don't come back. My boyfriend was like, no, don't come back. You got it. And then I had my friends like, you shouldn't have even moved out there in the first place. Because the problem, I never gave home a chance. So, I went to IUP, and that's 4.5 hours away. And then I interned in DC, and it's like I'm always just trying to get away from Abington. Like, I don't want to be here. And so they're like, well, have you ever gave home a chance? Like, spend some time with your family, just relax after graduation. I was like, no. So it was just really tough for me. I was like crying every single day after work. Like, it was just so hard. But I appreciate the experience so much, because it got me into a place that I was just alone, and it forced me to grow. Like, it challenged me. I had to move. I was living with four girls, very uncomfortable situations.
It's
like,
crazy because I literally hear almost everybody who moves there say that their first roommate out there is like terrible.
Yeah. Like, LA is spooky. Like, it's really spooky. I got scammed like $600 for moving. I was trying to move into a new apartment, and I got scammed. And like, LA is just, it's real spooky. Everybody's happy, but you have to watch out, because they'll try and get you. Like, if you're not from LA, they're going to try and get your money. Like, yes. But, and then I also said, I was telling my mom, I was telling my boyfriend, like, my relationship has nothing to do with me moving back at all. And I just tried telling myself that so much, but I can say, like, I think it did. but like everything happens for a reason, and I really think that when the time is right, I'll get back out there again. But even the fact that I was able to go back and do an event with the high school that I worked at, I'm real appreciative of that. So.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like one of the things that you said too, I feel like so many people fall into that, like asking other people for their, not necessarily for their approval, but that's kind of what it is. And then like you hear so many different opinions, and it's like at the end of the day, you just kind of want somebody to make you feel better about the decision that you're making. And so, but when you hear people who like are completely different, who are like, oh well, like maybe you should do this instead, then you're like really torn because you're like, oh, I knew what I wanted to do, and I asked these people, and they told me like they agree with me, but now you don't, and now I feel like I'm going inside myself wondering why I don't feel like I'm ready. And that's something that I've struggled with, not even with moving, but just like with relationships, and because I feel like that's like one thing that a lot of people our age do. Like if they're having issues with their boyfriend or their girlfriend,
They
like
go to
the
somebody
first thing
else.
you're gonna do is like ask your friends like what they think. And one of the things that my mom has like been trying to teach me is to just kind of keep that type of stuff to yourself. And you know, I've noticed that you're religious. I'm not religious, but I do pray a lot. And like you know, just like learning how to like pray about it has been one of the biggest things for me. Because I didn't move out. I came back home. I didn't want to, but I did. And so hearing like what people have to say about that, some, you know, obviously like not everybody, but like people will be like why are you still at home? Because it has been a year.
Everybody has something to say.
Yeah, everybody has something to say regardless of what you do.
Regardless, and people are going to have something to say and just talk about it. But one thing that so when I moved out there, you know, like they told me, why are you moving to LA? How are you gonna afford it right after college? And then when I told my friends I was coming back, they're like, well, you know, people are going to be like, oh, she failed. And it's like, okay, so do you want me to be out LA? Or do you want
me to come home? Yeah.
And I really had to get to that point where, like, none of these people are going to, like, provide for you, or just, they're not you. They're not my happiness. They don't know how I feel.
Right.
And so I really do try, and like you said, like, just keep it to myself and go to God before anything, like going to other people. So.
Yeah. So was being viewed as a failure something that you were afraid of when you decided to come back home?
No. I was more so because the fact that I moved out there on my own, like you should have saw me. I had my suitcases in my hand, like I was out. And the fact that I was able to move out there on my own, that is a step. Like that's a step that some people are scared to take. Yeah. And so I never was, when people said like people are gonna say you failed, I didn't care about that. I was more so worried about myself. Like, am I going to go home and I'm going to get comfortable again? And I definitely did. Like I just fell back into the being home. And
it's hard not to.
Yeah.
You know, you get used to like, I don't know about you, but like I used to cook for myself all the time at school, for example, and like now I'm home like.
And you're just dependent
on my mom. Like my mom makes dinner, and like I feel so bad, but I just don't feel motivated at all to like do those sorts of things myself or go to the grocery store because I know somebody else will do it for me, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I need to go soon. I really do. So when do you want to move back to LA or just out of PA period? Do you have like an idea?
I don't. So I'm just trying to like take less control of my life. If that might sound terrible.
No, I know, but I know exactly what you mean. And like some like people, a lot of times people who don't understand will view it as nonchalant. But for me, I'm like I said, I'm like really spiritual, and I feel like my great grandmother visited me like a couple months ago, and like and she told me, mind you, I like never met her before. It was the craziest thing. I was like, Mom, like this old woman, and I described her to my mom, and she's like, that's your great grandmother. Crazy, right? But one of the things like she told me was to like, if you're not sure, just be still. And so a lot of people view that as like nonchalant, when it's really, I don't feel like you should make a decision when you're not sure. You know?
And even when I was out there in LA, like writing pros and cons list every single day. Like, I would be at work writing on my kids' board like pros, cons.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you have to go back and forth with yourself like 12 times over a decision, it's not for you. Like even about
at that moment.
Going out to like an event, like do I really want to go here? And if you have to really debate, like just don't do it.
Right.
But to answer your question, well, I just got accepted into Temple's grad school.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. And that is something that I said I would never go to Temple.
Yeah.
I also said I wasn't going to grad school.
Oh, me too. And I am waiting to hear if I got into NYU. So fingers crossed.
It's amazing. I hope you do.
Thank you.
And so it's just two things like I wasn't expecting to happen. And that would tie me to Philly for at the most 2 more years. And then even with the direction that the daycare is going in, it's just like, okay, when do I get to the point where I can move here and still be hands-on but away? So I don't know when I'm going to leave Philly. As much as I said I hate Philly, I'm here.
Yeah, it's crazy how like you try to plan your life so much, and the older you get, you realize like you really just can't because anything could happen at any second. I'm like trying to like get to that myself because I'm a huge planner. I'm very like anal about that type of stuff. I'm trying not to be, but yeah. So I guess like I feel like whatever. Okay, so anyway, do you think that Abington or IUP prepared you for? Let me just break it up. Do you think Abington prepared you for college?
Yes. Abington prepared me for college. I can say like I'm pretty independent, so I kind of what I wasn't prepared for. I expected everything to just be thrown at me, like. So IUP is a place that has zero opportunity. Let me not say that. The town is terrible.
Yeah, I've heard.
Westchester, you know, you're still close, but being out there, Pittsburgh is the closest city, like the major city, and it's an hour and some change away. So I was like, I hate IUP. There's no opportunity here, and I really had to get up off my butt and go make that opportunity happen for myself. Like, there's not an org. There wasn't one org that I wanted to be involved in. So I was like, okay, I have to create that org. So I wasn't ready for that. But other than that, I would say I was pretty well prepared and just ready to take on college. Also, something that I did it with Tyler, but we did the CUS program, so we went to IUP a little earlier just to get like comfortable and situated. So once the semester started, I was good.
You were ready? Yeah, and I'm like so jealous of people who got to do that at Westchester because everybody like already kind of knew each other, and then I like came in late, and I'm like,
that's how
I'm like so jealous. So like you guys who do the summer program because like the people who don't, like we really feel so behind. So do you think IUP prepared you for life after college? IUP, I think. Did I say that?
IUP, yes. Yes. I don't even know if I want to give IUP that credit. I don't think so. That's a good question though. I never thought about it, but I don't think so. I'm kind of just out here just
making it work for
making
yourself.
it work and just trusting.
That's honestly how I feel about Westchester. Because I feel like most of the stuff that I'm doing now are things that I kind of, I mean, I guess I was involved on campus, so it does make my resume look, I guess, a little bit better, but I don't really think Westchester prepared me that much either. And I was wondering, do you think it's like a difference in preparation for students of color and students who don't identify as a minority?
I was going to say yes, but then I was going to say yes, but then I want to say no. Because when you were talking, something popped up to me. So I don't want to say that it's the schools that prepare us, but what we involve ourselves in. So like the sororities, like the connections that you make, the relationships, the organizations that you join, I feel like they give you the ability to take on things after college. Does that make sense?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I feel like it's not the school themselves, but what you do.
It's the person.
Like the job, the jobs that you work, like your resume. So what skills are you learning from? I think that is really what like prepares you.
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, I guess it is. I guess it would be the person, and and I don't know why I didn't think about it this way, because I always tell people when they talk about is college worth it, I say that worth is a relative term, and that, you know, it depends on the person if college is worth it.
Right.
And so I don't know why I never thought about it.
It's like, what are you going to make out of it? Like,
Right.
you're spending, as I float in debt,
Right.
like, what are you going to make out of your experience?
Right.
Are you going to sit there on your butt and not do anything,
Mm.
not be involved around campus, or are you going to get up and make things happen?
Right. So somebody who works in education, how do you think education should change?
It's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah.
I went into West Philly High School the other day, and that is the first high school I walked through that had a metal detector. Like,
Really?
we come from Abington, like,
yeah.
but some of these kids just, I honestly feel like it all starts with parenting.
I agree.
Even working at a daycare and with kids as young as 6 weeks old, but our preschoolers receive homework daily. Half of them come back with no,
Their work.
it didn't even get taken out of their folder.
Mm.
So it's like, you have to meet the teachers halfway. Like, we spend this amount of hours with your kid, but you have to go home and continue it. Like,
yeah.
and then just, I don't know, this is something, like, it really hurts my heart just seeing. And then I picked the school kids up after school every day, and just hearing the conversation that these kids are having, it's like, I don't think we were like that. Like, Abington wasn't like that. Like, all you hear is curse words, and just, today, this girl, like, she had to be 7, trying to fight this other girl. So what are you two fighting about right now? Like, I just feel like the education system is just so messed up, and I honestly don't know what it needs to be fixed. But something needs to be changed.
Because I like don't even think I said my first curse word till maybe like junior high.
And it's terrible. Like,
no, seriously though, like it was like what am I cursing
why?
for? Yeah.
And I was sitting in the car today, and I hear. Also, this is another thing. I think I have nothing against young moms, but you have to be careful. Like, today I was sitting in the car, and I hear a mom on the phone with her. She's pushing a stroller, and her kid is walking next to her. She's on the phone just cursing. Why aren't you having a conversation with your kid about what he did in school today?
Yeah.
Like, they pick up on that. That's where they get all their behavior from. And out in LA, the school system was really bad as well.
Is it?
Like, they don't have textbooks. It's bad. And so, and even in Philly, like, not every school has textbooks, but we were privileged to have. We were spoiled.
And it was updated.
Like, yes, and we were really spoiled. So it's just, it needs to be changed. But
yeah. So last week I had an episode about the internet and social media, and so I wanted to ask you, how do you feel like, for example, like viewing our peers' accomplishments on social media, for example, how does it make you feel about where you are in your timeline? Does it ever make you feel like you're delayed, or maybe like you're ahead, or?
So I feel like this is something I'm struggling with a lot right now. Like, not so much social media, but the people that I have in my life.
Okay.
So I think social media gets people very caught up, like comparing themselves to other people. And I don't want to say that I do that with peers, but the Explorer page is dangerous.
Yeah,
like, it's dangerous. So you'll be like, and I'll end up on somebody's page, like, who's traveling the world and just living her life, and I'm like, wow. But I don't do that with peers because, and I'm not, wow, this is actually terrible to say, but like, I really don't have anybody, like, friendships that I can connect with, like, on that level and really, like, okay, let's sit down and talk business, right? Let's sit down and talk about something that's beneficial, like, how is this helping the both of us? I don't want to sit down and have a conversation about this person and this person, somebody we went to high school with.
We should do lunch sometime.
Yes, like, I need more relationships like that, like, and I can say my he's not my ex-boyfriend, but that is one person. He's also the owner of the daycare. But he's one person who just, he's also older, but who relates with me, like who we can sit down and just have conversations, like tell me about myself, like what do I need to improve on. And with my friends, you know, not too many, my closest friends, not too, I can't even say, they didn't graduate from college, they didn't leave from Abington. And so, you know, I know the difference, but it's like I want to be able to support you. And what are you really doing besides smoking weed and getting drunk and partying? Like, we can do that later. Like, let's get
Focus
to it.
now,
Like, yes.
No, I definitely feel you on that one. I don't think most of my friends are pretty like on it. But I definitely like could see why that would be like a deterrent. You know, I guess in your relationships. And it's so interesting. I ask everybody this question all the time about how the internet makes them feel about their own personal timeline because, you know, there's not one fixed timeline. Everybody's kind of like, you know, on their own clock, running their own race. But just like the people who have like come up to even me, have been like, just because like the whole like modeling thing is taking off, they just assume that I'm like out here somewhere, and I'm like, I actually still live in Abington, and like I don't pay rent, and I'm like in New York every week, sure, but I don't like it. Like, I don't like having to travel back and forth.
Why not?
It's really tiring.
That's exciting. Like, if I could just, like, if I had a reason to go out to New York every week, and like, if I could hop on that mega bus and just, I would love it. Like,
but that's it. At first, I really did, but it just gets so tiring. And so, like, the conversations that I have with people is like, no, like, we're still very much on the same level. Like, just like you go to work, that is my work, because I don't enjoy New York anymore, because when I go, I know I'm going there for business and it's not for pleasure. So, and I don't even want to, like, I feel like I hate, like, the way I'm talking about myself, because I'm not, like, trying to talk about myself in, like a hoity-toity, like, up here type of way. But it really is, like, interesting, like, when I have conversations with people and they just assume that I'm like, we're, like, literally, like, we both just graduated a year ago, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Just because my work involves what seems like it might be more fun, it's really not, you know.
I feel like, though, like what you just said, like, you don't want to, sometimes you have to toot your own horn. Like, you're accomplished and we're still growing. Did I skip a question? Did you ask me a question? But like, sometimes you have to toot your own horn, and you know, like, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, people are like, you know,
you're doing it,
and I'm like, well, I still feel this way. Like, I really struggle with not doing enough and doing way too much.
Me too.
And then it's like, people have these expectations of you, and then it's like, whoa, like, like, just let me
I agree.
Take the pressure off of me.
I agree.
But you have to appreciate that too.
It's a very thin line, and just, you know, when you say pressure, it's like, because I've even gotten to the point in feeling so pressured where, like, if I'm taking, like, my chill time that I really need, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, I feel like I need to get up and go do something. And so it really is just important to pay attention to, like, how you feel and do what feels like right for yourself. And again, just like not letting other people dictate how you move, because it's really easy to feel that way, especially with social media, when we just have so many images of people who are 20 doing this. Like, Kylie Jenner is like the first self-made billionaire or whatever. At 21, and you like are looking and you're like, damn, I'm like about to be 23, and I'm like not close to $1 million at all, or not even $1 million.
You have to, like you said, I know it's hard, but like, you can't compare yourself to others. Everybody has their own pace. Like, everybody has their own pace. Some people may not take off until they're 35. Some, it might happen for them when they're 17. But also with social media, what I'm trying to do better at is just being more vulnerable, and not like, people on social media aren't going to put up their hardships or what they're struggling with, or their insecurities, anything. They just want to make it look the best that they can, like they're living life. So I'm really trying to, like, even with my blog that I'm doing, like, just open up and have people be able to relate to me more, like, come to me, feel comfortable. Like, I go through it a lot.
Yeah, so, like, girl, me too. That's why I did my show, because I like having conversations, you know. So It's just so crazy though, like how we're like in such everybody's in such different places in their lives. Like people that we graduated with are like married or like engaged or
Right.
like have a kid or are having a kid or on their second kid, and I'm just like, good for y'all, good for
Right.
you. But wow, okay. So my last question to you is how do you manage to stay positive when like because life after college is tough, and though both of us are pretty accomplished, for where we're at right now, it does kind of get, So how do you manage to stay positive?
I feel like it's just like the thoughts in your head, like my relationship with God, and I feel like it's very hard for me to have a conversation these days without bringing up God, but like he's just to me he's just so great. Like when I feel a certain type of way, like I have to stop and I have to pray. Like I just left work and I was in a funk. Like honestly, I was crying, and I had to.
You couldn't tell.
I was crying. So like on my way here, I just had a whole conversation with him. Like remove these negative thoughts from my mind. Like just help me. Like I like just have to go to him and ask for help. And I'm a big book reader, and so it's like the books, like the positive books, self-help books, um, reading my Bible on my phone, and just really like staying positive. I know it probably doesn't sound. It sounds harder than it is, but the stuff that you speak out of your mouth is really. It can come true. Like if you say like, I'm going to have a bad day today, you're probably going to have a bad day today.
Yeah.
So if I say like, I'm great, and I learned that recently. So I had the vision board event, and I had a speaker, and she just said like, actually Miranda McDonald.
Okay.
So she had us repeat like, I am great, I am beautiful. Like you have to speak those things into your life, and I encourage people, and I can send you this whole paragraph of uplifting you and be positive, but I struggle my own self. But you have to be there for yourself. You can't depend on nobody, like except God. That's where I'm at with it, and that's my person. God's my person.
Yeah. And so did your relationship with God get better after college or before? Like when did you develop that need?
I would say during college. I actually just wrote a post about this on my blog, but I feel like it has a lot to do with my dad. So I never was, like when we were younger, I was forced to go to church and CCD throughout the week, and I never appreciated it. I never had that urge. Like I didn't want to learn about God. And it came, my dad he's Muslim, and he prays 5 times a day, and so he prays for me every single time he prays. And I know like that had something to do with my relationship growing with God, and I just felt like lost. I was smoking weed every single day, like, and now I don't smoke at all, and it's like
We used to smoke together back in the day.
terrible. Like I couldn't even function in college in my sophomore year without smoking first, and it's like what are you doing? How am I trying to work with youth and encourage them when I'm not even at my best point? Like I'm smoking weed, getting drunk, and doing this and that. But my relationship grew with God during like my sophomore year. Also, I was in a drive-by, and the car
took a complete turn.
The car got shot up. I was smoking weed with people from IUP, and the car got shot up 12 times. And that was the first time I dropped down and I just prayed to God. And so after that, I didn't stop smoking weed, but my relationship with God grew. Like He has a plan for my life. Like I dodged 12 bullets, so
literally.
Like
people are like, I dodged a bullet, but like you said it, I'm like, wait, she like meant that literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's anything that you could tell your younger self, what would it be?
What could it be? Oh my goodness, this is funny because I actually just for my blog, this is a question I ask other people, but for myself, that's crazy because I never thought about it. But don't let your current circumstances, I can't. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I was gonna say don't let your current circumstances define your future, but I don't feel like that applied to me. Like being the first in my family to graduate, I had that motivate me. So I can't say that. Wow. Speak up. Maybe speak up. Use your voice.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Be positive. You know, back then I was a very negative person. I come from a pretty negative family, so if I could always be as positive, like, and look at the bright side of things as how I am now, I would tell my younger self that. Like, I was a very,
That's beautiful.
I would say, like, upset, and just, I always let things get to me when I was younger.
Oh my God, same. That whole like positive shift has definitely changed my life for the better.
Yes.
And like you said, just like speaking positivity. Like I'll do these. I pray before I like always say I'll pray before I pick up my phone and right before I go to sleep. And I also do these like manifestation like videos that I find on YouTube or whatever. I do like the same one in the morning and the night. And like it definitely like does make a change in your life to just be positive and be positive. And people are ask me a lot of the time like how do you remain that way? And I think it's like important to say like I don't always feel that way, as I'm sure you're not always like super positive, but just like praying for that comfort when you need it is really important.
And knowing that you have the ability to make that change within yourself. Like you don't have to be stuck in that place forever. It's up to you. Like
yeah, right. And so you said that you do community service. Where can people find the link to how I guess they can join and help out?
I have a page. Our Instagram page is C.a.r.E Foundation PHL. The C.a.r.E Foundation stands for Continuous Acts to Restore Encouragement.
Oh wow.
I started. So we basically do here in Philly do work with the homeless. But I am doing an event with the youth for poetry and mental health and emotions. So we do different things. Working with the homeless, working with the youth, all different things. Going to Africa. Yes, I'm having a Give Back April 7th down at Love Park. So that's mainly like our meeting point all the time because there's just so many people down there that you can serve. But yeah, I welcome volunteers all the time, like donations, or even if you just wanted to come out and not donate anything, like I appreciate any help and all the support. So
right, and I'll definitely have to link you with my mom. She has she just started Reid C.a.r.e Foundation, and she'll like she collects food and gives it to like college pantries because of how many like college students are food insecure.
The struggle.
So I'll definitely have to link you guys.
Yes,
but we can talk about that later.
Also, I'm doing a prom dress drive.
Cool.
So I was at West Philly High School because all the dresses are being donated to the girls at West Philly High School. So that's just another thing. Like if you have any prom dresses, we love to have them.
Okay, well thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, that was great. And thank you guys so much for watching another episode of the Weekly Read. It was an amazing one. We will be back next week. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And that's a wrap.